Number 1. Jayden Daniels.
Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle!
Rookie QB Jayden Daniels offered up the most memorable play of the 2024 season in Week 8 and did indeed have Commanders fans going crazy with a 7-2 start to the year. But will Daniels be the franchise quarterback Washington has dreamed of since, well, Joe Theismann? And what about the rest of the league? Who were the other breakout stars of the 2024 campaign, and do they have the juice to get their fans as fired up as JD? Let's take a look at some of the future stars of the league and what to expect from them down the road. We'll start with Daniels, who's been cooking.
And this time it's Trent Scott. The big tackler was the extra offensive lineman.
But his first game was a mixed bag of ingredients. In a loss to Tampa, Daniels threw for 184 yards while also rushing for 88 and 2 scores. He added 3 fumbles, luckily none of which resulted in turnovers. Following that debut, Daniels has been all gas, no brakes. The Commanders became the first team in the Super Bowl era to score at least 150 points through the first 5 games, and Daniels became the first QB in NFL history to pass for at least 1,000 yards and rush for 250 in that span. His efficiency has been historic, too.
One is launched from McLaurin. He's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown, Terry McLaurin!
Setting a record for the single-game completion percentage for a rookie of 91.3, going 21 of 23 for 254 yards, 2 TDs, and 0 picks in a Monday night game. He's second in the league in passer rating and third in completion percentage. Daniels entered the league with a solid core of skilled position players, but nothing like the weapons the Bears handed over to their top draft pick, Caleb Williams. Meanwhile, top 2023 draft picks Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson have already been benched, which has prompted some to question the way college programs have been developing the next wave of players.
I had to learn from being 7th quarterback on the depth chart to moving up to 3rd to ultimately being a starter.
Regardless of the NFL's current hit rate on first-round QBs, it appears that the Commanders hit the jackpot with Daniels, and he should continue to thrive early on in his career. Number 2. Malik Nabers. Next on the list is one of Daniels' favorite college targets. Malik Nabers has been the kick in the pants the Giants' offense has needed, especially after losing Saquon Barkley to league rival Philly in the offseason. Nabers has been targeted 84 times this year, second in the league, and his 12 targets per game leads the league. His 55 grabs is good for 4th in the league, despite playing 2 fewer games than the top 3 wideouts. He's been a production machine for a Giants team that's been quite small in the passing game over the last few seasons. Big Blue QBs have thrown for more than 300 yards just 4 times since the start of the 2022 season, with one game last year going for -9 yards. The addition of Nabers has been a huge boon for Jones, who has a 96.2 passer rating when targeting the rookie. Unfortunately, Jones doesn't seem like the long-term answer despite signing a new contract in 2022. Nabers is clearly proving that he can excel no matter who's throwing him the ball. So if the Giants can find a way to bring in someone more reliable under center, it'll only send his stock soaring even higher in the future. Number 3. Marvin Harrison Jr. Skill, pedigree, work ethic. Marvin Harrison Jr. has it all. He was just the 10th wideout to be drafted in the top 4 picks since 2000, and while the Cardinals had a lot of holes to fill, they couldn't pass up the chance to pair Harrison with Kyler Murray. It has been an up-and-down start for Harrison with just 28 receptions and 445 yards, although he has found the end zone 5 times. He's gone over 100 yards twice, but has also been under 50 yards 5 times, including games with 1 catch and 0 catches. His 50% catch rate shows a lack of connection with his QB as well. Murray signed a massive $230 million deal in 2022 after the Cardinals seemed unsure of how to proceed with him when his rookie deal ended. It hasn't been fruitful so far, as the Cardinals have a poor defense and an inconsistent offense that struggled in 3 recent losses. Somehow, Arizona still leads its division, and it seems like Harrison has shown flashes this year.
Taking one of the chops.
Challenge flags down.
I think this is good. I mean, that ball does not move an inch.
Like a 60-yard TD catch on a crossing route against the Rams. He's going to have to build on his connection with Murray if they want to have any chance of reaching the playoffs this year. Number 4. Brock Bowers. If there's one player who hasn't been hampered by poor QB play, it's Vegas tight end Brock Bowers. One of the most dangerous weapons in college football just 1 year ago has continued to be an absolute savage in the NFL. He leads all tight ends in targets, receptions, yards, and yards per catch. In fact, he's second in the entire league in receptions despite catching passes from Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, two of the lowest-rated QBs in the league. His 9 receptions for 98 yards played a big role in the Week 2 Vegas upset of the Ravens in Baltimore.
The 5, and Bowers still going. Brock Bowers bulldozes his way down to the 1.
Oh, man.
He's also a certified freak, hitting 19.58 miles per hour on his way to the end zone during a 57-yard TD against the Broncos. Halfway through the 2024 season, he's the highest-rated player on the Raiders according to Pro Football Focus. At 2-7, the only thing the Raiders are playing for is a potential number 1 draft pick. If Vegas can finally land a competent quarterback, Bowers is in line to be a first-team All-Pro for many years to come. Number 5, Brian Thomas Jr. At the risk of sounding like massive LSU fans, Brian Thomas Jr. is the 3rd former Tiger on our list. Thomas wasn't as heralded as Nabers or Daniels, but he has been proving to be a big part of a Jaguars offense that's lacked significant bite this year. They should have a very solid offense in 2024, with a core of Travis Etienne, Evan Engram, and Trevor Lawrence returning. However, the offensive line has had its problems, and Lawrence has been inconsistent at best. Thomas, however, has been maybe the most solid contributor to the Jags offense this year.
On 2nd and goal, it's Lawrence, spins. With the push, will he get there? He does. Touchdown.
He's 6th in the league with 17 yards per catch among wideouts with at least 35 targets, and 7th in the league in yards per route run. Clearly, Thomas has big playability and has even topped fellow rookie wideout Marvin Harrison Jr. in catches and yards with 35 and 595 respectively. At 2-7, Thomas may be the only thing keeping Jackson DeVille from jumping off the roof of the stadium without a bungee cord. Thomas is also doing what he can to keep people talking about LSU as WRU and should continue to carve out a nice career in a league filled with dynamite young receivers. Number 6, Jared Verse. Possibly the most impactful defender so far this season has been Rams edge rusher Jared Verse. With the offensive injuries piling up for LA early in the year, they need the other side of the ball to step up, and Verse's pass rush has been poetic this season. His 3.5 sacks doesn't seem like a lot, but it's the most for any rookie in 2024. His 20.3% pressure is double the league average and 14th in the league among all defenders with at least 275 snaps. The Rams are 2nd in the NFC West, but are starting to get healthy, and Verse is going to be a key component to getting the Rams back to the playoffs this season. Number 7, Ladd McConkey. A 3-star wideout in high school, McConkey was initially a preferred walk-on at the University of Georgia, where he eventually became a star. Quentin Johnson has not lived up to his 2023 pre-draft hype, so the Chargers added McConkey in the 2nd round of the draft, and he's been the most consistent receiver for LA this year. With Jim Harbaugh as coach, Justin Herbert has been able to lean on the ground game and a surprisingly stout defense to carry the Chargers to a 5-3 record, but McConkey leads the team in targets, receptions, and yards. The rookie eased his way into the season after an injury kept him on the sideline for most of training camp. Nevertheless, he developed almost an instant rapport with Herbert, including 6 grabs for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns against New Orleans. McConkey has the potential to be a target hog and security blanket for Herbert and Harbaugh's offense for years to come. Number 8, Caleb Williams. Chicago fans couldn't believe their luck when they ended up with the top pick in the 2024 draft and were essentially gifted one of the most talented quarterbacks to come out of college in years. And yet, despite the lack of capable QBs in their franchise history, Williams has yet to win over the city's fans. His passer rating of 83.3 ranks him 30th among qualified quarterbacks. He's been stuck behind a poor offensive line, something that Justin Fields dealt with in his short career with Chicago, but Williams has gone down 29 times in 8 games. His efficiency numbers have been brutal as well, completing only 61% of throws despite a poor yards per attempt of 6.3. DJ Moore has been mostly a non-factor, but Williams has been able to take advantage of 2 of the worst defenses in the league in Indy and Carolina, topping 300 yards passing in both of those games. There is a glimmer of hope for Chicago, who's 4-4 this year, and GM Ryan Poles seems serious about building a winner. For now, though, Williams seems like Justin Fields light, who was shipped off to Pittsburgh to make room for the franchise savior. Unfortunately for the Bears, the NFC North is loaded this year, and it appears that Bears fans, and Williams, will have to take their lumps for at least one more year before being taken seriously by fans and opponents alike.